Βρισκόμαστε στο Milton Keynes, 80 περίπου χιλιόμετρα βορειοανατολικά του Λονδίνου στη Βρετανία και συγκεκριμένα στο Bradburn Drive, όπου συναντά κανείς τη βάση της παγκόσμιας πρωταθλήτριας της Φόρμουλα 1 Red Bull Racing. Ομάδας η οποία έχει δημιουργηθεί μόλις το 2005 από τις τάχτες της Stewart Grand Prix και της Jaguar Racing, προτού σκαρφαλώσει μέσα σε χρόνο ρεκόρ στην κορυφή του συναρπαστικότερου αθλήματος στον κόσμο. Η Red Bull μπορεί να είναι γνωστή για τα ισοτονικά της ποτά που δίνουν φτερά. Σε αυτό εδώ τον χώρο, ωστόσο, η ίδια κατασκευάζει τις γρηγορότερες βολίδες στον κόσμο που δίνουν πραγματικά φτερά σε αυτόν που τις οδηγεί. Η ομάδα μπορεί να έχει μεν αυστριακή ταυτότητα, η ίδια ωστόσο διαθέτει βρετανική καρδιά, μιας και εδώ κατασκευάζεται η κάθε βίδα του μονοθέσιου με μοναδική εξαίρεση τον κινητήρα, ο οποίος κατασκευάζεται στη Γαλλία από την Renault. 4 Κύπροι, τους οποίους έχει εμπιστευτεί ο διευθυντής της ομάδας, Christian Horner και ο Adrian Newey, έχουν συνδράμει ο καθένας με τον δικό του ξεχωριστό τρόπο στην κατάκτηση των 2 παγκόσμιων τίτλων που έχει κερδίσει η ομάδα τα 2 τελευταία χρόνια. Πίσω μας ακριβώς συναντά κανείς το σχεδιαστικό τμήμα της ομάδας, όπου στο πρώτο σετ παραθύρων βρίσκεται το γραφείο του τεχνικού διευθυντή της ομάδας, Adrian Newey, ενώ παραδίπλα στο δεύτερο σετ παραθύρων βρίσκεται το γραφείο του συμπατριώτη μας, Peter Προδρόμου, επικεφαλής του τμήματος αεροδυναμικής της ομάδας. Ποτέ πριν στην ιστορία της Φόρμουλα 1 η νίκη δεν ήταν τόσο πολύ εξαρτώμενη από τον τομέα της αεροδυναμικής. Λόγω της παγιοποίησης στην εξέλιξη των κινητήρων, αλλά και των στάνταρ ελαστικών που έχουμε στο παγκόσμιο πρωτάθλημα. Και εδώ είναι που μπαίνει στην εκρηκτική εξίσωση της Red Bull το όνομα Παναγιώτης Προδρόμου.
But really, as head of aero, our job is to use all the tools available to us: the wind tunnel, the CFD, the track data, and various other things that we do to try and improve the aerodynamics of the car. And that's our sort of day-to-day job. So we're always striving for the next performance benefit from aerodynamics. It's a relentless exercise, and you know, I think you'd be surprised by how much we bring to the car, race by race, test by test, just to keep us ahead of the game. The winter is always busy, for sure, because you are, you know, developing the next car, and you know, it's always quite a nerve-wracking period because you're stepping into the unknown to some extent. I guess you can make comparisons in the sense that a lot of the skill set of the people that work for NASA you would find here. So from that point of view, there is you know, there is some common background. But in terms of what the goal is, what the ultimate goal is, it's very different. In some ways, we operate in similar fashion. So you know, there are parallels, but you know, we're a racing team at the end of the day.
Το 2010 η ομάδα πάλεψε μέχρι τον τελευταίο αγώνα προτού κατακτήσει τον παγκόσμιο τίτλο με τον Σεμπάστιαν Φέτελ. Το 2011 ωστόσο η RB7 των Προδρόμου και Newey έκλεψε νωρίς τον κεραυνό από τα χέρια των αντιπάλων της προτού γίνει καπνός στον ορίζοντα.
Well, I think last year's championship victory was very special in that it was the first for this team. And in that regard, it's really difficult to sort of exceed the sort of excitement and the feeling that you have in winning those championships. So it's very special in that regard. The ironic thing was that last year the car was performance-wise probably more dominant than this year's car, but unfortunately we seem to make hard work of that championship, and very often you found yourself feeling that you just about had your head above water and questioning whether it was actually going to happen, and the fact that it went down to the last race for the Drivers' Championship was a good example of that. Many people talk about that championship being Alonso's missed opportunity. The reality is that we should have finished that championship much earlier with the performance benefit that we had. This year was quite nice because you very much got the feeling that we were making full use of the car's capabilities. The car wasn't always the quickest car, and even when it wasn't the quickest car, we were sort of maximising the points haul, and so it was a much more comfortable position to be in. Yeah, it was a much easier ride. It's never easy in Formula One. We had potentially a little bit of a mid-season slump, I would call it. It's not quite a slump, but there was a period of a couple of months where we were struggling a little bit compared to our competitors and struggling internally to find the next step and go to the next level. But overall, this year did seem a lot more comfortable than last year, even if performance-wise the car perhaps wasn't quite as dominant.
Χάρη στον Πίτερ Προδρόμου, η Red Bull Racing κατάφερε για 2 συνεχή χρόνια να επισκιάσει ιερά τέρατα όπως η McLaren και η Ferrari, τραντάζοντας συν θέμελα το κατεστημένο. Ως μηχανολόγος συνθετικών κατασκευών, ο Ανδρέας Κυριάκου γεφυρώνει στην ομάδα τα τμήματα σχεδίασης και κατασκευής του εργοστασίου. Είναι υπεύθυνος για την γρήγορη και την ομαλή εφαρμογή των συνθετικών υλικών στο μονοθέσιο που εγγυάται την τέλεια απόδοση.
My role as composite production engineer, I have to maintain the quality and the consistency of the composite components for the car. So we put procedures in place if we need to, so that people have got the information so every component's consistent. We have sign-off sheets so that we've got traceability. We have to talk to the drawing office to make sure the drawings have the relevant information. The boys have got jigs and fixtures, all the information. So when the component reaches the workshop, we're ready, and so we're on the job straight away, and it goes through the system as quick as possible without any problems.
Ένας από τους παλέμαχους στο Milton Keynes, ο Ανδρέας Κυριάκου, έχει ξεκινήσει την δική του σταδιοδρομία το 1983 στην ομάδα της Arrows, φτιάχνοντας αναρτήσεις από ατσάλι και πτερίγια από αλουμίνιο την εποχή που ακόμη τα συνθετικά υλικά και τα ανθρακονήματα ήταν άγνωστο υλικό.
It's a lot different. From an engineering point of view, we've moved on. There's more people, more technical people, so the car's more intricate. It's like a watch these days. In the old days, it's quite basic. Flat floor, powerful engine, basic aerodynamics. And then you had the skirt and the ground effect cars, which were really simple concepts. It was just brute force and simple technology to draw the car to the ground, but now the rules are so stringent. To find that extra piece of downforce is quite difficult. It's a different sort of challenge now. There's more pressure now, I think. The teams have got bigger. There's more at stake. Every man's got to do his job 100%. To produce a winning car, everything's got to be 100%.
Ο Χρήστος Χαραλάμπους, απόφοιτος του Ινστιτούτου Φρέντερικ στην Κύπρο το 1993 και αργότερα του Πανεπιστημίου Southbank στο Λονδίνο, ζει και εργάζεται στη Βρετανία τα τελευταία 18 χρόνια. Όπως ο προδρόμου, έχει ξεκινήσει την καριέρα του στη McLaren, ενώ σήμερα είναι ο υπεύθυνος του τμήματος αξιοπιστίας της Red Bull Racing.
I am the laughing controller, as we call it here, and basically my role is to ensure that all the components that we fit to the cars have sufficient life and performance to run for each event. So we monitor all our components as you would monitor a patient, and then obviously we make sure we replace them when required to ensure that the car finishes the race.
Όταν οποιοδήποτε εξάρτημα του μονοθέσιου υποστεί βλάβη ή σοβαρή κόπωση, το τμήμα του Χρήστου φέρει μεγάλη ευθύνη. Πόσο μεγάλη είναι η πίεση που δέχεται το τμήμα αξιοπιστίας σε τέτοιες περιπτώσεις?
Pressure is the name of the game. You know, we're always trying to perform to the highest levels. So pressure is a commonplace for us, and we just take it as any other kind of pressure that we deal with. So we just have to get on with what we have to do. Usually we are quite quick with our resolving the problem, and we know the next event is up, and we've solved the problem and we're confident. So absolutely, so it's like all the puzzles, the pieces of the puzzle coming together, and you know, the two drivers make sure that you know, we win every race. But without our help and without our input, it can be difficult for them. So. Well, absolutely fantastic. It's an unbelievable fit. I mean, we didn't expect to win the first one. We did, because it went all the way to the wire, to the last race. And to, you know, completely come back and retain the title this year, it's a fantastic achievement. And it's just a testament to all of our efforts.